All roads lead back to Boris Johnson. Hi guys, those were the words of a member of the audience at Question Time on Thursday night, and he was completely correct. The entire saga surrounding the former Prime Minister have to be laid at Johnson's door. However, he couldn't have achieved what he did if he wasn't enabled by members of the Conservative Party and members of Parliament. These people attached their careers to the former Prime Minister, knowing that he was incompetent and a narcissist who couldn't care less about the damage he would cause. They used him and he used them, and now they're trying to wash their hands of the situation. Have a listen.
The common denominator of this whole situation seems to be Boris Johnson, in my view. You knew back in 2016, when Michael Gove stabbed him in the back, that the guy was not competent for office. The people he brought in to Downing Street during COVID, the likes of Cummings and Kane, they did not create an atmosphere that was a working environment. All these roads lead back to Boris Johnson. And okay, he's gone now, thank goodness. But you guys sit there as Tory MPs and you defend this guy, and you've got people like Rees-Mogg and Tories who all back this guy still to this day. And I don't think anybody here should be surprised at the chaos that that man created during one of the...
Well said, well said. And he's completely correct. But a few things to say about this. First of all, Dominic Cummings. Dominic Cummings was brought on to help Boris Johnson win in 2019. And he was very good with his focus groups and all of that. But Dominic Cummings' goal was not to run an efficient government. Dominic Cummings' goal was to put people in charge that he was in control of. So to surround Boris Johnson, he said it in the inquiry about surrounding Boris Johnson with a team, but this team would be loyal not to Boris Johnson, but to Dominic Cummings. And Cummings basically said it himself that Boris Johnson could be jettisoned, thrown in the bin when he was finished with him. And of course replaced with somebody different. Somebody, of course, loyal to Dominic Cummings. Now, it didn't quite work out like that, but that was the goal, I believe. And of course, there were others who attached their careers to Boris Johnson. They were willing to overlook all sorts of shenanigans. And during the pandemic, backing Boris Johnson to the hilt, claiming that he got all the big calls right. And some of them are still singing from that hymn sheet. Now, some have abandoned Johnson, have moved on, although they haven't come out fully and criticised him. Why is that? Because they're afraid. They know he still has a significant amount of support within the party, and he has a media platform. Boris Johnson is not going away, and Boris Johnson still has significant sway. That's why they're so afraid to criticise him. Some have, but the vast majority haven't. And some still believe that he has sufficient influence to help them in their careers, maybe even help them save their seats. Boris Johnson was interested in becoming Prime Minister, just for the sake of being Prime Minister. And he was surrounded by people, including Dominic Cummings, who knew that and were happy to manipulate that in order to further their own careers, both inside and outside the Conservative Party. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that Boris Johnson still has significant sway, even though he resigned in disgrace. He should have gone away, went to live in New York or something, and never be seen again in British politics. But unfortunately, he's going to be hanging around for a long time further. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.